All right, now we are live. TikTok Live number 88 right now. It is January 25th. It's about 7:30 p.m. and we're in the middle of this snowstorm. So that's why I put on this ridiculous hat. I actually did shovel the driveway in this hat, so I figured it was pretty befitting. But yeah, I just wanted to open up to the TikTok Live. Let's get the questions going. JFCJDB is the first person in the live here to ask a question, and it's, "Hey Doc, how have you been?" I've been good. Just studying to find out some more material I need to study today. So I made it into a Quizlet, and then after this, probably after dinner, I'm gonna get to studying that right now. 1 week from Tuesday is the exam. So today's Sunday, and in a week and a half, it's Tuesday. So yeah, basically 1 week I have the exam, and I don't know. Who knows if I'll pass or not? There's a lot to do, lots of study still. There's a lot going on. Lots going on. Yeah. How's everyone doing tonight? Did everyone shovel their driveways? Did you guys get your driveways shoveled? JFCJD just got the #1 viewer badge. So far, we're going to be going a little bit here. Kylie Minaj joined. Melly joined. Maz joined. What's going on, Kylie? How we doing? How we doing tonight? How's everyone doing? Did anyone else have to shovel their driveway? I'm curious. A joined. TMI joined. Did anyone else have to shovel their driveway today? Oh, JFCJD said, "What is the best way to set up shadowing with you once you've taken part 2 of the boards?" You could come on into the office. I'll be there. The Melville office, I'm at Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays now. So any of those days you could come in. We could shadow. We could go through some cases, IV sedation, how I like to do all those things. And then on Tuesdays, I'm at Jericho now. But you want to go to Melville. Melville would be a good time. Actually, right now, Fridays would be a great day to come on in. To come in like 9 o'clock. We'll go through the sedations, whatever the procedures I'm doing that day. Shamir liked the live. Thanks, Shamir. Addis joined. What's up, Addis? Laura Lev joined. What's going on, Laura? How's everyone doing tonight? It was getting pretty windy out there last time I checked. I do have to go into work tomorrow. Do you guys go into work tomorrow after this big snowstorm? We go in at 1 p.m. What we got to do? Addis said, "Are you ready for your exam?" I don't know. I think it's one of those exams where it's like you're never fully, or you're not fully ready for, and you could always study more for. It's kind of like that, but you're also exhausted because you're just studying for months and months. So I don't know. It's going to be tough. I don't know if I'll even pass. It's a big exam, but I don't know how I'm going to take it next year because my wedding is like 2 weeks, like a week before the wedding. The wedding is like a week before the exam, so it's really this try, and that's kind of it. But all right, let's keep it going. JFCJDB said, "What time would you recommend coming in?" I'm thinking of a Monday. Ooh, a Monday. Well, my boss will be there too on a Monday, actually. So, yeah, you might be able to go in and see both rooms. That might be a good idea. Yeah, you could come in. It gets really busy. So, yeah, you could come in at 9. You could come in at noon. Maybe you want to come in at noon. We'll just throw you right in. Or 9 to 10. We start at 9, so maybe you want to come in at like 10 o'clock. I would probably say 10 o'clock. Yeah, I'll let the front desk know. Fat joined. Fat liked the live. Thanks, Fat. Owen joined. Jennifer joined. What's going on, friends? What's the next question we got? Yeah, this is the Snowstorm TikTok Live. Thought this was crazy to do it today, but I usually have a class tonight. That's why I haven't been able to get a lot of TikTok Lives on for the last couple Sundays, because our group has been meeting for the last 3 months on Sunday evenings at 6:30. So, but tonight they didn't want to do it, and so I got a bit of studying in. I still have a lot more studying to go, even today still. Maybe after dinner, but it's just wherever you can find time, you know? All right, what's the next question? Let's see. Let's get a question going in the chat. Shamir joined. Sarah joined. What's going on, friends? So let's see. A question I got this week actually was, do you always prescribe antibiotics after you remove wisdom teeth or take out teeth? No, you don't always prescribe antibiotics. I try and prescribe pain medications because it's going to be painful. You had a tooth removed, like oral surgery, there's going to be pain involved. So I always prescribe, whether it be like extra strength Tylenol, extra strength Motrin, if there's no contraindications due to your medical history. Sometimes if it's like 4 wisdom teeth, I usually go with like oxycodone because that could be painful, Otherwise, for antibiotics, there's either got to be like an infection, or there were osteotomies involved, which involves cutting bone, with the drill. So that could leave little spurts of bone, little particles of bone throughout. So you irrigate it out, obviously, thoroughly, very thoroughly. We say irrigate copiously with normal saline, but you clean it out, and then prescribe antibiotics if I close it up, like after wisdom tooth removal, like a complete bony. You got to get in there and remove the bone, and then I split the tooth, and then I crack the tooth into the two separate pieces where you section it, and then you take out those pieces one at a time. So when there's that going on, yeah, I usually do prescribe some antibiotics to prevent infection. Ford said, Doc, I'm starting dental school in Australia in 2 weeks. Congrats, Ford. That's exciting. 2 weeks. You got to let me know how Australia is. Are you in Australia or like you going to dental school across the world in Australia? That would be crazy. Ford, are you in the US? Are you in Australia? Are you in somewhere else? You're from Canada. So wow, you're going all the way over to Australia. Have you ever been to Australia before? Or are you just going on a limb like I want to go to Australia and study teeth? Like where did that I'm curious where that came from. Do you have family in Australia? You just going for it? Ford, you there? Taishay Jones joined. What's up, Taishay? Annie Juarez joined. Do you have any Spanish speaking people in the chat? Your mom joined. Nice. JFCJD said, what was the biggest challenge since starting private practice after residency? It's still going on. It's studying for this exam on top of like you have life going on. You got to work full time. And the last couple of weeks, I've taken away my lunches. So I'm just like working really hard. I'm exhausted at the end of the day. And then after work, I got to study. What I've been doing is I just stay at the office. I finish all the notes. I call back all the patients. I've also been on call this month. So then I call the people who are calling in for questions or emergencies. And then I finally get to studying. And after that, I'm like, I don't want to study. So I'll get maybe, I was really just getting like an hour and a half in. I wish it would have been like 2 to 3 hours, but it's like at the end of the day, you start procrastinating. You don't even realize you're doing it. Yeah. So that's how it goes. Ford said, nope, it's because you can go there right after high school. Oh, okay. So in Canada, that's right. Because in Canada, you have to go to undergrad, right? But in Australia, you could, or like Europe, you could just go right to dental school after high school. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty good idea, Ford. So you want to do dentistry and you're going right in. That's a solid way to go about doing it. Are you going to be able to graduate in Australia and then just go and work in Canada, or you have to like do you have to do a residency in Canada? Does it like I don't know how it works. Dylan joined, Maladio product joined, little Snowstorm TikTok live. The snowblower that we have in the house is powerful, so that helped out big time. Got the cars, and a little trick to what we did with shoveling the driveway is we shoveled the end of the driveway furthest away from the house and then moved the cars up to there and then shoveled the back end. And then first thing in the morning, we'll shovel the back end, move the cars back in, and then shovel the end. I think that's pretty good. I don't know. It's a cute little strategy. If you have to shovel driveways, like, all right, JFCJDB said, have you gotten hospital privileges yet? No, I haven't. I haven't gotten it. Yeah. And I've been so like head in the books that I haven't checked into getting them yet in a while. So Ford, yep, you can go back to Canada to work because it's fully accredited. That's pretty cool. So you're skipping all of undergrad and just going, do you have to do residency though? Or you can literally just come back from Australia and start working in Canada. That's pretty cool. Catherine Vamia joined. What's up, Catherine? Ford said no residency. Pretty good deal. That's a pretty good deal. Did everyone study today in the snowstorm? Who had the snowstorm? Who in the chat is in the middle of the snowstorm right now or had it earlier today? If CJDB, where are you from? What state? Are you in the US? What state are you in? CJDB said, is that something that's necessary by the time you do second part of boards, or you can do it after? Yeah, they really wanted to see you have it before boards, but yeah, I didn't get it. No one in my group either. There are 4 of us taking the exam from my oral surgery practice, my multi-practice that I'm a part of, and no one got hospital privileges. So Ford said 50 centimeters of snow here. Oh my god, that's a lot of snow. JCJDB said, I'm in Brooklyn, New York. Oh, so you got a ton of snow over there too. You're in Brooklyn. Did you have to shovel it, or was it like shoveled in the street? I don't know where in Brooklyn you are. Shane joined. Isaac So joined. Yeah, we shoveled the driveway and then we made snow angels. So that'll be like a cute little tradition. We made snow angels in the back. That was cute. Eno Medina said, do you know of pediatric dentists only working in hospitals with sedated patients? I don't know too many of them. No, I don't know many pediatric dentists only working in the hospitals. I don't know of any, actually. I know of some that do both, but I don't know. No, so I don't know. JFC JDB said, yeah, thankfully I didn't have to shovel. Oh, so you're in like in a higher building. That's pretty good. or just like in a place where you don't have to shovel. Do you have school or work tomorrow? Because yeah, I got to go in at 1. I was hoping that they would cancel it because this is actually a lot of snow and it's still going. It's still going. I'm doing dry January, guys. I hate it. I want to have a beer right now after shoveling all that snow. Yeah, that sucks. I can't wait. Oh man, February 3rd after the exam, I'm just gonna. I'll be in North Carolina, so I'm gonna probably look for a brewery nearby, and then go out to dinner with my fiance after. That'd be nice. That would be awesome. First beer in over a month. I can't remember the last time I went over a month without having a beer. It's probably a while. Oh no, for the CBSE, I did it for the CBSE, and then before that, it was for the DAT. JFC JDB said the practice where I assist is open Tuesday through Saturday, so no work for you. That's that. Oh man, you got lucky. You got really lucky. Although there's some kind of I know a lot of people, especially in like Manhattan, they're like, "Oh, the snow is so pretty the first day, and then it gets brown." Like I do agree with that, but like I think it's still cool snow. In Florida, you don't get that. You know what I mean? But I think one of the magic, the thing about like the magic of a snow day is having that day off the next day. It's just a burst of excitement. If I'm a boss, I would give the next day off because I think that's like a cool. Those are core memories when you look back on like snow days that you had. Those are core memories. Those are the days you look back on. Just my thoughts. All right, friends. What other? Here we go. JFC JDB said, "I may or may not visit the city. We'll see." Visit the city. You're gonna go into the city tomorrow or tonight? Tonight? No way, dude. I bet like the subways are flooded or something with all the snow. Henry D2 Dent. So Henry's a D2 dental student. What's up, Henry? Fat like the live. Jorge joined. Eve1313 joined. What questions we got? Medina said, how many externships is a good number? So the more externships, the better, right? But schedule them at strategic programs. The magic number to go to is about 3. You want to try and get at least 3. If you can get to 5, go to 5. But pick your externship program strategically, right? Don't go to a program where you're like, oh, I'm going to get an interview here. No. Go to the if you know you're going to get, or you think you're going to get an interview there, go to the reach schools, the reach programs that you don't expect to get an interview at. Go extern there. If it's a really big name program, then that'll look really good on your application for when you apply, widespread. Do you see what I'm saying? Go to the big name schools, go to go do externships at a place that like you don't expect to get an interview at, because at the end of the day, if you do really good, you get an interview there. If you do really bad on your externship, well, it's like you didn't expect to get an interview there anyway, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, you know what I mean? If you rock that in that externship, they like you a lot. You just got yourself an interview that you didn't expect to have. So that's my recommendation, and you should really do that. A said, have you ever tried performance enhancing supplements for studying? No, just I rip the coffee. I drink a ton of coffee. I'm really digging the Dunkin' lately. Dunkin' medium blend. I went on Amazon and I got like the huge jug. I'm like halfway through it. Yeah, something about Dunkin', it's just gotten better and better and better over the years, like taste wise. Yeah, for studying, now you need to have a high tolerance for caffeine because the blonde coffee at Starbucks, the Veranda, I think it's Veranda, that stuff you'll be like floating in your seat. That stuff is powerful. So yeah, I like caffeine to kind of focus in on and studying. JFC JDB said, are there any procedures that you wish you had done more of during residency? Yeah, more all-in-X's, more zygomatic implants, more IPS cases, more single unit implants, more and more of that, more combined cases working with pros, combined cases working with anyone, GPs, restorative dentists, perio, endo. I really enjoyed that collaborative setting. We had that at the VA where you could literally just walk down the hall and see the endo and say, hey, what do you think about this? Or go to the other side, like to the GPs, hey, do you think you could put a crown on this, or do you need me to adjust the implant placement? Yeah, that was really cool. They had pros, endo, GP, hygiene, and perio all in one place. That was a really good experience, So, all right, friends, it's almost time for dinner. Yeah, here we go. What do they have you do during an externship? Is it just shadowing residents? Yeah, you're shadowing other residents. You're assisting them. Some externships will allow you to take out teeth and do some smaller dental velar procedures in like their clinic, and that's really cool. If you could do that as an extern, that's a fun time. Otherwise, you're following, shadowing, assisting everything from the OR to the clinic to taking call one night with the residents. It's good to stay overnight that night and take facial trauma call on your externships because that'll be every like few days. And that's really good to see. Like we were up till I think 3 a.m. when I was externing at NYU. We were up all night. But yeah. So externships there, it's good for the experience. Jasmine Loki said, are you in the office or hospital setting? I'm in an office setting, private practice, Millville and Jericho on Long Island. JFCJDB said, how do you usually have your coffee while studying? I like a night. Well, I mean, today in the snowstorm, yeah, I would like a nice hot cup of coffee, steaming up a little bit, fresh in the morning. You know what else I've been doing? It's really helping with I usually get a lot of acid reflux. Like I've switched on and off between Pepcid and omeprazole for the last like 6 years. And I haven't taken it in over a month now because I've been having apple cider vinegar before dinner. Like you put like 2 tablespoons or something, put in like a glass of water of 8 ounces, and you have that like 5 to 10 minutes before eating dinner or breakfast, and that helps big time with like because I would get acid come up like between 1 and 5 hours after eating meals. And I was like, oh god, talking to patients in the hospital and just like coughing up acid from indigestion and reflux in the middle of the night when I was on call. Yeah, I do not miss those days. I do not like stitching up someone's face and just like getting the worst heartburn in the bottom of your throat. Yeah, those days are long gone. Thank God. Thank God. But yeah, Blank Dot said, "Hello. What does stain the teeth more, coffee or tea?" I mean, if you have enough of either one, it will stain your teeth. I would probably go with coffee. But like if you clean your teeth, you brush your teeth, you're generally fine. It's when you don't brush your teeth a lot and you're just having coffee day to day. Henry, D2 dental student, said, how you doing, doctor? Hopefully I can go to the Columbia Symposium to meet you. Yeah, dude, come through. That's going to be nice. That's coming up in April? I think it's March or April this year, right? Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be great. What else we got? Vanessa Maureen. Brendan without scrubs. Yeah, Brendan without scrubs. I still have hat hair from the shovel in the driveway. And this is the hat that I had on out there with the snowball. Yep. Golf Dude Ferda said, how's practice treating you? Are you private or private equity owned? No, private, solely owned by the one owner at All County Oral Surgery on Long Island. Ace said, Israel or Palestine, Brendan. Dude, I'm not. If you answer that, you're getting political. I'm staying away from that. All right. Des said, if I do 4 years residency, do I get paid the same? The same all 4 years? No. Joelman said, hello, Dr. Gallagher. Hey, Joelman. Did you see the hat? Did you see this ridiculous hat that I shoveled the driveway in? Because we have work tomorrow. I'll see you at 1:00. Oh, speaking of, guess what I was wearing? I was wearing the All County hat this whole TikTok live. Pretty good, right? Let's see. Next question. Golf Dude Ferda said, how's private practice treating you? Good. I'm working a lot. I just started cutting out lunches like about a month and a half ago. About a month ago, I started cutting out lunches, and it's tiring. And then the rest of the night I have to study. So it's been a lot. It's been a lot going on right now. I hope I pass this exam because I don't want to be taking it again. It's a lot to study for. And next year I'll be having the wedding, so I don't know when I would do that. J Mac joined. Joe, man, he saw the hat. Nice. I shovel driveways. Dr. Chav, you want me to shovel your driveway? Couple grand, I'll do it. I'll get out there. I'll haul all that snow out of there. Medina said, I'm an incoming D1 at Stony Brook and would love to be a mentor with a pre-dent mentor map. Is it still running? Yeah, it's still running. After this exam, I'm going to be making big strides back into that, okay? I'll be able to invest some money in it now. We got to start working on getting the specialty matches from this year now from dental schools. Yeah, there's a lot to do there. Brooklyn said, OS manager here. Love your content. Any specific skill set you want your OM to have about 1 year in? Yeah, knowing the insurance plan, knowing what to code, how to code it, what to send out, what to say back, how to read my notes, how it translates to what we send out to the insurance companies. I usually have the office manager discuss pricing and everything with the treatment, so I could just focus on the oral surgery, directly with patients. I make my recommendations, and then I have the office manager come in and discuss whatever it's going to be, because I really don't want to be talking about that with the patients. I want to just talk about patient care. That's really important to me. SS said, what does care look like post root canal long term? Does the crown ever have to be replaced? It might not. I'm not the best person to answer this, SS, because I don't do those. I don't do crowns or restorative anymore, JFC JDB said, Joe, welcome in, Dr. Chafkin. Yeah. So everyone saw you. He's famous. Des said, no, like the 4 instead of 6. Like the 4 instead of 6, you're saying different in pay afterwards? Like if you graduate after? No, there's no difference in pay whether you're a 4 or 6. SS said, also after listening to your TMJ tips. Oh, you do your own driveway. Dr. Chafkin said he does his own driveway. That's pretty good. I bet your driveway is like a mile long. You must have been out there since 9 a.m. Also, after listening to your TMJ tips, I've had a huge relief with the stretching. Really? SS, you got nice. So were you doing the exercises like holding 30 for 30 seconds at a time, rest for 30 seconds, hold for, and then 3 times a day doing that for 5 minutes? Those are really good exercises to do. And then, putting your jaw out and then side to side, being conscientious of when you're grinding your teeth and clenching. That's really important. I think people just tend to grind and clench their teeth and you don't even notice. Vanessa Maureen said, I was surprised when you said how little pain meds are standard compared to what I was given for my extraction. What do you mean? What do you mean? WizJin6 said, any recommended programs for like dental schools or OMFS programs? Henry D2 dental student said, I've literally been begging a PI to get me into research. Luck, I'm sorry about that, man. What's your advice? Yeah, you got to keep trying. You got to go to people that during the office hours and stuff, sometimes faculty members do their research. You can touch base with them and just see where you can help with. Pumpkin emoji said, do I have to go to Columbia to do OMFS? No. Prenet Mental Map doesn't have the updates. Yeah, I got to get the updates. I mean, I got to reach out to everyone to get them. Henry D2 dental student said, thanks. You got it, Henry. Vanessa Maureen said, when did you do the video? When you did the video on your standard pain regimen post wisdom tooth extraction? Oh, you mean, so you were saying that was too little or a lot? Because extra strength Tylenol, extra strength ibuprofen, and then oxycodone, that's a lot of meds. And the literature shows if you mix Tylenol and ibuprofen, that's the same. That you get the same pain relief as the oxycodone. That's what the recent literature says. That was in Johns, I believe, 2 years ago. But yeah, something important to note. But yeah, that's plenty. I usually recommend alternating the Tylenol and the ibuprofen because each of them you can have every 6 hours. So I recommend alternating them every three. You know what I mean? Maybe you start with Tylenol if you have an empty stomach, and then have the ibuprofen with something because that's ibuprofen, the NSAIDs, ibuprofen stronger on the stomach and the kidneys, right? Whereas Tylenol is on the liver, right? So keep that in mind. Not medical advice, just going through to help you out, answer any questions. A said, I heard you're extremely controversial in the dental world. Any explanation? Controversial with what? What did I do or say that was controversial? Pumpkin said, if you want, I can help you with the updates for Predent Mentor Map. I'll gladly intern for you, brother. Hey, that would be awesome. Pumpkin emoji. That would be great, man. If you could help with that, that would be a huge help. If you can DM me on Instagram, we'll touch base after the board exam. Of course, I take that next 2 Tuesdays. So then we'll touch base and get going. Yeah, that's when I'm going to start. The next couple of weeks is when I'll get started on. Bet I'm going to DM you on Instagram. Yeah, reach out there. We'll get that going. I'm behind like hundreds of messages and DMs and comments on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I'm back a couple hundred, probably Facebook as well. So yeah, you're busy with an interview the next few weeks. Nice, man. A said, wow, wow, wow. Well, that doesn't answer the question, A. All right, well, yeah, I'm curious. You said that I'm extremely controversial in the dental world. I'd like to know why and how. What did I do? I mentor students. But all right, friends, I'm going to be signing off unless A can get me some more information there. Dr. Ola joined. What's up, Dr. Ola? Megan Cool joined. A said, I don't know. One of my foolish boys said that. What? Foolish boys? Maybe because I glaze 4 years so much. Oh, so because your boy's a 6 year. I mean, that's fine. I went 4 years, so I tell everyone I'm biased. That's why I have 4 year answers. That's why I didn't want to do 6 years. So pretty sure that's not controversial. It's just my personal opinion on why I picked the 4 year track over the 6 year. But yeah, I know. A doesn't know what he's talking about. He is the pumpkin emoji said A doesn't know what he's talking about. He is the type to do perio and say it's better than OMFS. A said your number one opponent is the 6 year. No, it's not opponents. Anyone that falls for that, the division within healthcare between specialties or between 4 years or 6 years or between, they're just falling for the fool's gold, man. The more divided and time that you spend pointing fingers at other people, you miss out on the big picture. And it's really, unfortunately today, the truth is that it's all of us against the insurance companies because the insurance companies are holding back care in the 1970s. So, but you have to see the broader picture here of what's going on, and all dentists and everyone are working together. And now we're fighting a war on the other front because the consolidation with corporations and private equity taking over, that's making autonomy less. There's less opportunity for autonomy. So there's a lot going on. Dr. Ola said, I remember you recently graduated. Congrats. How's work been for you? It's been a lot. It's been good. Studying for the boards exam I take 2 Tuesdays. But yeah, everything's been going good otherwise. I mean, it's cutting out exercise and cutting out a whole bunch of things isn't great, but you got to do it, right? You got to get out of the way. Pumpkin emoji said, "Listen, me and my boy Gallagher are way back. I even met his boy Dan Bastardi, and 4 years over 6 years." So, guys, when I answer 4 years in support of 4 years, it's because I'm biased, right? I did the 4 year, and I did not want to do the 6 year extra exams, time. That doesn't fit me. That doesn't fit my personality. I'm doing everything I wanted to do and still like to do in oral surgery, right? So that's that. And the 6 year has excellent benefits for other areas. You know, if there's so many different things, right? But that's not what I focused on. I was applying oral surgery. So when people ask me, I give my perspective and my opinion on that. Okay. But it's really important. I wish some 6 years would put out some content on it to give their side on like what it's important, right? But A said, so 6 years are garbage programs. No, they're not garbage programs. And a lot of programs, they have both 4 or 6 year. You know what I mean? I wanted to get through sooner. I didn't want to take all those med school exams. I wasn't going to utilize the MD to its full potential. And so that's why I took and did the 4 year program. Does that make sense? So, no, I'm not trying to divide more. I'm not pointing any fingers. I'm just saying, for me personally, the 4 year fit what I was looking for better. All right. It's too bad when people listen to just like a couple seconds of a piece of content, say on like TikTok, and then they take that 7.5 second clip and then completely judge your entire being. And, it is what it is, though. I mentor, I try and give my opinion genuinely, wholeheartedly, and transparently, which that's something you don't get very, very often. Pumpkin Emoji said, do they ask you at interviews why you wanted to do 4 year versus 6 year? If so, what do you say? Oh, absolutely. I mean, I told everyone, I was like, I want to do the 4 years. What did I say? I had said a lot of things about like, I'm not interested in taking the extra exams. I want to be the workhorse. In the 6 year programs, you take gaps and you go do clerkships, you go do years in med school. You go do more gen surge rotations. And I was like, look, I'm going to have a lot more time on service in those 4 years, making up for when they go off, and I want to be a workhorse. That's what I wanted to do. Pumpkin emoji. Oh, Dr. Ola said, nice. Which program did you graduate from, and what was your favorite procedure? I graduated from NYU/Bellevue Oral Maxillofacial Surgery in Manhattan, New York. And my favorite procedures in oral maxillofacial surgery are, I would say, All-on-X implants, wisdom tooth extractions are fun. I'm really liking sedations. I gotta say, there's like an art to that balance, delicate balance of a patient being very comfortable and relaxed, but not too deep where they're not breathing. There's a nice delicate balance where they're comfortable and just relaxed while you're doing the surgery. And it's different for everyone. That's the crazy thing. Some people they eat up meds like crazy, and other people, you just give them a little hint of something and they're knocked out snoring. So there's like an art to it, though. You see what I'm saying? You don't want to zonk someone. You don't want to completely frost someone, but you want to there's like that, not too late, because then they might be awake. They might be getting anxiety. You know what I mean? They can't talk because you got the gauze in their mouth protecting their airway. So, yeah. Cool. A said, I love you, Doc. Been looking up to you since I was a little boy. How long has that been? How old are you? Kidda said, my favorite modern barber. I don't get it. Me said, can you please answer questions from students this week on Canadian University Pre-Dental Instagram? What's that? I've been really inspired by you, Doc. Would you love to have you share your insights? I will, but I will after the board exam. Board exam's February 3rd. After that, anytime, yeah, let's do it. Anthony said, Unc, I had a 1.6 GPA in high school. Now I got a 3.5 bio major in college. Anthony, congrats. That's a huge jump. Well done. Pumpkin emoji said, I saw your convo with Ben Olivi from Bing. You told him not to take a gap year. Any advice on that? I don't remember his situation, because I could tell you to take a gap year or not a gap year depending on like if your scores will get you in, like go for it. If you need to take a gap year, take the gap year. But if you don't need to take the gap year, I'd probably just go through with it. That's probably what I would have done. But I gotta say, the gap year is pretty influential on your understanding of your self-awareness, and then kind of your understanding, like your career path, what you want to do. Really, really influential that gap year was for me, I gotta say. That like changed my perspective in so many ways. Raul said, didn't match in OMFS residency here in Mexico. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Are you going to go for it next year? What do you think you need to do differently to match next year if you are to go through with it again? What was the miss? If you could put your finger on one thing, like I know a lot of people tell me like it was the CBSE, or like I didn't get any externships in, or it was my GPA. You know what I mean? That should really guide you into what you want to do with that year if you're going to apply again. Me said it's McAllister University in Ontario. I've been following since my first year. Oh, nice, nice. And thanks, man. What year are you now? Pumpkin Emoji said he was planning to take a gap year for nonsense just to chill. He didn't have a plan. Oh, well, there's your answer. You got to have a plan. If you're going to take a gap year, you have to have a plan. You got to have some general understanding of like, okay, why, if like you don't need to, but you want to take a gap year, you need to know what you're going to do with that gap year. And it could be fine. It could be traveling. It could be working in your local ice cream parlor. But like, have a plan. Figure out how's that going to apply to you. Is there something that you've been dying to do for a while? And you got to figure that out. A said, does being chopped hurt your chances of getting into OMFS residency? What do you mean being chopped? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Pumpkin emoji said the guy was planning to take a gap year for nonsense just to chili did. Like, yeah, you gotta have a plan, dude. Farah said, I don't know if you already talked about this, but what were your stats in undergrad that got you into dental school? Okay, so DAT was a 21 academic average. My PAT was a 22. And my undergrad GPA averaged out to a 3.6. I got a 3.8 from Stevens Institute of Technology, and I got a 3.4 from NYU Poly. And I did 2 years in 2 years because I played basketball at Poly, and then I transferred to Stevens and ended up not playing basketball there after 1 year. But I did research in my last year. I got a 4.0 in one of the semesters in my last year of college, and it put me in a good place for applying to dental school. So I did. Took a gap year because I didn't take my DAT until after I graduated from undergrad. And then took the DAT, did a gap year. I worked for shadowed bunch of different dentists, oral surgeon, worked for the oral surgeon in my gap year. I worked 2 different lifeguarding jobs, one at night during some weekdays, and then another one on like 1 or 2 days on the weekend. And I was reading books. I was listening to podcasts, Gary Vaynerchuk, doing stocks that year. I was music producing that year. That was a really good year. That was a really good, I learned so much. I produced it was like 15 or 16 songs on Logic Pro 9. Yeah, they're on SoundCloud. Yeah, I'm hoping I get to do that again one day. But dude, like take the gap year, but you need to have a plan, and you need to you're never gonna get that much time again in your life. You know what I mean? And you could live under like your parents' roof, get some stuff paid for. Not have to pay rent, food, everything. Pumpkin Emoji said, "What are your thoughts on Aaron Haruni? Who's Aaron Haruni? I don't know." Me said, I'm a second year now, got the opportunity to lead a pre-dental club. Would love to have you answer some questions from students here in Canada. Yeah, dude, after my exam, my board exam. So in 2 weeks or later, let's talk. Hit me up in the DM on LinkedIn or Instagram. I am like months behind on there, but I'll catch up. I will. And then we could plan it. Raul said, yeah, again, next year, more focus on hospital setting and just a bit more patience. Okay, go for it. I like that. I think you got a good base. I think you got a good foundation there. Me said, truly though, you've been an inspiration. Thanks, friend. Thanks, man. And you too. You too. Keep going. Just keep pushing. Dr. Ola said, what would you say was the most important factor for getting into OMFS for you? For me, you need to get a CBSE that gets your foot in the door and a GPA that gets your foot in the door when you apply to specialty residencies, right? And that also might be the name of your school. What's their reputation with getting people into specialties? Stony Brook was great. That's why I picked there. That's why I went there. Great clinical setting because it's a small school and they get great specialty placement and it's a state tuition. The culture of the school could be a lot better. It could be, if you're at Stony Brook, I know, but yeah, that's why. Buff Bunny Sunny said, is 31 too late to switch from corporate into medicine? No, it's not too late. It's never too late. You don't want to live with regrets. All right. Lido Schiavo joined. All right, guys. I think that's it. That's it for today. Hope everyone's doing good in the snowstorm. I went about 37 minutes. All right. We're good to go. Time to go have dinner, get back to studying a bit. And I've been wanting to watch Jujutsu Kaisen. That's something I want to start maybe tonight. All right, friends. Wishing you, hope you're doing good in the snowstorm. Hope you guys doing good in the snowstorm. Take it easy tonight. I hope everyone's safe. Everyone's okay out there. And thanks for signing on. This is TikTok Live number 88. The top 5 listeners in tonight's podcast. I'm giving you a shout out in the caption on YouTube, podcast platforms. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being part of this one. This is only my first one in 2026. Yeah. Jenna, my oral surgeon. What's up, Jenna? Jenna, like the live. Thanks, friend. So first one in 2026. Got my board exam in 2 Tuesdays. All right, signing out. Good night, guys. Wishing you a great week. Stay safe in the snowstorm and get cozy tonight. All right, you deserve it. Relax a little bit. All right, love you guys. Good night.